All right, gang, welcome to our Builders Call. And what we're going to do today is finish up our series on the magic of compound recruiting. And I think we've had four parts, and this is our fifth part. And I don't know if any part's more important than the other, but I think this part is really the foundational success concepts to build the other stuff on. The other four parts are really more the how to, why to. This is more related to what to do on a daily basis to fix your mindset. And really, when it comes to success principles, or you read any success principles books, it's really designed to change how you think about what you're doing, the results you're currently getting. Because unless you change your mindset and attitude, nothing in your world is going to change. You will stay where you are unless you grow your mindset and attitude. And that's really the most important thing that you got to do. Now, it's not one of these things where I'm going to do it until, I'm going to wait to do anything until I got my mindset right. It doesn't work like that. You get your mindset right and you're working that every day while you're working on the mechanics, the how to, the activity, the work, putting the work in. Because you'll never learn everything you need to learn until you put the work in, right? And so you got to put the work in. And it's sort of a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress. Andy Albright's still a work in progress. We're all working to continue to get better so we can increase the results in our lives and in all respects, right? Not just financial, right? But family relationships, your spiritual life, all these things really impact you as a person in all aspects of your life. So that's what we're going to do to finish up our series. This will be part 5, which is kind of amazing. I didn't realize it would take 5 sessions to get through it all, but it is a lot of information. So let's go ahead and get rocking. So, excuse me. So the first thing, and this is not like in order of importance. So number one, you can't expect what you don't inspect. That's really what this number one is all about. Being able to monitor your systems to determine where you are on an ongoing basis. Okay. It's kind of like, excuse me, navigating to a location. You're constantly measuring where you are and where you are in relation to your destination. Excuse me. Oh man. Now I'm gonna uh can't just cough once, right? I'm I'm still getting over COVID. I'm I'm not contagious now, but there's still residual residual coughing. So anyway, so you have to know where you are to measure where you're going, because if you don't know where you are, how do you know what to do to get from where you are to where you need to go? Whether it's how much money you're making, what systems you put in place, to measure these things. So what you want to do, what I want to do, what I need to do is I need to manage my activity, the things I do every day to accomplish my goals. But my focus is on the results of my activity, right? Because all the work you're doing has to lead you closer to your destination. And if the things you're doing is not leading you closer to your destination, guess what? You're never going to get to your destination, right? So results focused, but managing your activity. Okay. Now, the second bullet is based on, 3 frogs are sitting on a fence. One frog decides to jump off. How many frogs are sitting on the fence? 3. Okay. Because deciding to do something is different than actually doing it. You have to make the decision to do it, but then you implement your decision by the actions you put behind your decision. See, anyone can make decisions, but what makes that decision a real decision is what do you do based on making that decision? So we're not paid to try, we're paid to do. Do the do, like Andy Albright always says, doing the do. Now, what types of things do you need to monitor on a weekly basis? And this applies to yourself because, the first person you need to lead is yourself. And you need to constantly check yourself on these things. But then this is also how you evaluate your team and what they're doing, right? Because you want to make sure you teach them that they have to be accountable to all these aspects um, of managing your activity and the results. So you got to monitor your attitude. Am I always grumpy? Especially around the people I care about, my agents, the people I'm leading, or am I upbeat? Am I hopeful? Am I giving hope to other people? Right? What am I projecting? What are people picking up from me? Okay, it's so important as a leader to know how you affect other people around you, right? You need to know, and that takes a tremendous amount of self-awareness to get a feel for how your attitude affects others, right? And kind of the easy way to determine that is, does your attitude bless other people or does your attitude curse other people? Okay. And you'll notice how people react around you, which one you are. So you can't fall into this. There's one aspect of being having such a high self-image that you really don't care what other people think about you, right? That's one aspect of self-image. Okay, but the other aspect and what am I at? Is my attitude and mindset affecting other people in a positive way? So it takes a tremendous amount of self-awareness to determine where you are. Like, are you always in your own head, or do you monitor your effect on other people? It takes a tremendous amount of confidence and self-image to be able to pull yourself outside of yourself and notice other people and notice how people are reacting to you. It takes a tremendous amount of empathy to be able to monitor that. And to me, that's truly a measure of how unselfish you are, because people are always thinking about themselves. Like, really, what, 95% of the time you're thinking about yourself. I'm thinking about myself. But when you kind of pull yourself and reverse it to where, 80% you're thinking about other people and 20% you're thinking about yourself, you are definitely on the right road as far as the attitude is concerned. Okay. Very important point. Do you have goals? And then do you have a game plan to get your goals? What is it that I think it's what 3% of people ever write down their goals? Do you write down your goals every day? Great book by Brian Tracy called Goals. Okay. Actually, it's goals because it's spelled with an exclamation point. One of the best, if not the best, book on goal setting, because there's more to it than goal setting. It's how do you implement your goals to let it sink down into your subconscious and your mindset. And so I'd highly recommend getting that book, Goals by Brian Tracy. So do you have goals? Do you have specific things you want to accomplish, both long-term and near-term? And the long-term should inform your near-term goals, and the near-term goals should inform what you do on a daily basis. When your head gets up from the pillow and your feet hit the floor, you know what you're going to accomplish this day to move toward those goals that you're trying to achieve. And so that is mega important. Are you monitoring that on a weekly basis? Are you monitoring the prospect list that you have or the leads you're running? Especially whether you're in sales or recruiting, your leads are you talking to new people every day about our business opportunity? Okay. If you're selling, do you have enough leads to create appointments and to create income? You have to constantly measure that. And then also, what are your backup plans if you don't get all the leads that you need to run your business? Right? Most of you that's been in the field and have created a consistent level of performance and level of income, you know that if you don't get enough leads to book the appointments, you need to figure out what to do if all the leads that you expect to come in don't come in. Let's say Facebook blows up and your lead vendor can't deliver all the leads to you, what's your backup plan? You have to have one or two plan Bs and plan Cs when plan A doesn't work to make sure you have enough leads every week to call and dial. The last thing, this is how you go out of business quick, is that you discover not all leads come in, and then you sit and wait around like, what am I going to do? And you decide to do nothing because you think that all your leads are going to come in next week. And so you decide to just run whatever came in and you just accept whatever production. Your backup plans should include, I'm going to blow up on my old leads. I'm going to blow up my current client list to see what I can do to help them out, right? I have alternative lead sources I could tap into right away that can produce those leads for me immediately. And we do have lead programs that you turn it on, the leads start coming in within a day or two. Okay. So you're not waiting around a long time, but you need to know the decisions you need to make right away if you don't have enough leads, right? So you're monitoring that every day, every hour almost on what's coming in. Do you have enough leads to dial during your dial sessions? Okay. Same goes for your prospecting list for people that you want to bring into the business. Okay. Again, are you monitoring that? And do you have the backup plans should you not receive all the leads that you need and prospects you need to recruit? Okay. The next thing you need to monitor is your calendar. Really, it's easy to see. Is my calendar full of activities that I need to accomplish? Right. What kind of activities? We call them IPAs, income producing activities. IPAs, and it's not a beer. I mean, that it could be a beer. Okay. But income producing activities is your calendar full during what we call prime time, right? Prime time is income making and money making time. That's time that you could be dialing leads to book appointments or running leads, making sales, or calling and talking to prospects about bringing them into the business. You need to see if your calendar is full. If your calendar has a lot of slots in it, that means you're not being productive. That means you are letting time go by. And that's the last thing that you need to do is waste time. It's wasting time. Is based on the fallacy that you think you have plenty of time to waste, but you don't know your day or hour that God's going to say, your time is up here on earth, Alex. I'm calling you home. And that could be a day of rejoicing, but at the same time, did you leave behind your legacy? What did you leave behind? Did you leave behind a flourishing business that your family can still partake of the income? Right? Did you leave behind your teaching and mentoring of your children, your agents, people that you care about, that you left them with something that have improved their lives for the rest of their life? Right? You have to monitor your calendar constantly to determine if you're wasting time or if you're making life productive. When you make it life productive, this is where you impact the world, literally the world. When you make your life productive with your children, this is how you can impact generations, future generations of the things that you're pouring into your children that they will take and affect their families, which is your family, your legacy of your family down the road, right? And it sounds like a big deal because it is. So your calendar is a representation of how much you believe in what you're doing is going to get you where you want to go. Your calendar will show the world that you have goals and dreams that you want to accomplish. Your calendar will, when you strip everything away, your calendar will show me how serious you are at wanting to become a better person, become a better influencer, become wealthy, not only financially, but spiritually. Okay. Your calendar will tell me everything about you. Do you even have a calendar to monitor? Okay. Let's start there. Okay. Are you monitoring everything in one calendar? That's why we have calendar. I have a calendar video that's really strong on how to manage your life to a calendar. Okay, you can email me and I'll send you the link to where that website resides. It's really good stuff on calendar management. Performance. Are you monitoring your performance? We call this key performance indicators, KPIs, and that's what the world really looks at. Are you making enough dials? Are you making enough contacts? Are you booking enough appointments? Are you booking enough sits? Are your sits showing up? What's that rate? Right? Are you closing sales? Are you tracking your key performance indicators? How many leads are you investing in every week? Okay. On the recruiting and building side, how much are you investing in creating prospects to talk to? How many appointments are you booking, talking to new people about the business, right? How many people are you contracting every week to get into the alliance? All these things are important things to track to determine if you're on the right track, moving towards your goals or moving away from your goals, right? And then, do you know what your training plan is? Do you have a training plan? Okay, if your training plan is, you know, I'll if a boot camp comes up, I'll go attend it. That's not a training plan. A training plan is you've scouted all the opportunities for live boot camp training on the ARC, in the Alliance website, and all that stuff's there. And are you planning on going and driving to these locations? Like, for example, this Saturday, we have a huge boot camp in Chicago, Illinois, run by some top leaders and producers in the business. It might be 6 hours away for you. Well, Alex, I already planned something else. This is why you plan ahead of time to book yourself into these meetings 4 weeks early, right? 3 weeks early. So nothing can just come up. You plan to be there, right? That's a training plan. Are you planning on going to all the four major conferences that we have every year, the major events, right? We usually publish those dates a year in advance. And that should be the first thing you put in your calendar. There we go, the calendar thing again, to attend those training sessions, the four training sessions, the national training sessions we call events throughout the year. The next one's coming up is Family Reunion, August 2nd through the 4th in Burlington, North Carolina. Have you made plans to be there? Okay. I mean, we're about a few weeks out from that. Are you planning on being there? Do you know where you're going to stay? You have to plan your training routine. Are you reading a book right now? That's important part of training. Are you doing your daily reading of a success principle book or self-improvement book? Something on the book 8 Steps to Success, Andy Albright's book, page 86, that has all the books that Andy's read. And if I want to do what Andy's doing, I need to read all the books he's reading, right? But I got to start from the basics. Okay. The first book. If you don't know what first book you should start out with, ask your growing up line. Ask me. Like the first one I started with was Og Mandino's Greatest Miracle in the World, one of the best self-image books I've ever read. And it got me on the road and on the path to improving myself, improving my mindset, attitude. The second book after that was Greatest Salesman in the World. That one book led me to that second book, was powerfully impactful to me. And then Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's a meaty book. There's a lot to it. Okay. And that's a book you got to read at least once a year, if not twice a year, because it becomes relevant. The different parts of that book become relevant based on what's going on in your life. And you're going to pull things out that will relate to what you're going through now. That's why you need to read books multiple times, okay, over your lifetime. Okay. So here's, the 6 things that you need to monitor, that I need to monitor on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, right, yearly basis, always determining whether or not it's getting me closer to my goal or moving away. Okay. So monitoring systems. You can create a great system to monitor yourself, and then that will help you decide how you need to tweak what you're doing to get closer to what you want to accomplish. Then, man, you are well on your way. Okay, do you have standards of excellence? Have you laid down what you're willing to accept for success for you? Or is your standards of mediocrity bigger than your standards of excellence? Okay. Because if you don't have any standards of excellence that you're trying to accomplish, like to me, what is your weekly, what is acceptable in terms of how many appointments that you're booking? You know, maybe the number's 20 is your standard of excellence for producing. Okay. Maybe it's 15, maybe it's 10. It's whatever you've canceled with your upline to help you with your goal setting. Okay. It may not start out at 20, but let's get you selling. Let's start out at 10 appointments a week. Let's get you there. You get confident getting there, then let's move it up. So your standards of excellence can continue to push you higher and higher, but you got to start somewhere, right? You got to establish the performance levels that will determine whether what you're doing is poor to average or good to excellent to great. Okay. What are those performance levels for you? Right? If you didn't book any appointments, that should really be unacceptable, right? Poor. So like I said, if you don't have standards for excellence and everything you're doing is your standard for mediocrity, right? So you need to look at yourself in the mirror, get with your spouse and determine what is the standard for excellence for me in all aspects of my life. What's a standard of excellence for my family, right? What are standard excellence in my spiritual life? Am I praying every day? Am I praying multiple times a day? Am I going to church? Am I doing an adoration or getting in front of the Blessed Sacrament for an hour once a week or once a month? My thing there is once a day, doing a holy hour once a day in front of the Blessed Sacrament. And I'm nearly 100%. Okay, nearly. The only time I would miss is if I'm in a different city and I can't find somewhere to go. So anyway, what is your standard of excellence in your spiritual life? Are you getting into the word every day? Or is it just whenever you decide to get to it? Again, you either got standards of excellence or you got standards of mediocrity. Okay. Standards of mediocrity is whatever you do is what you do. Anything's acceptable. Man, you got to change that mindset quick, or you're going to be in that 90% or the 80% of the world that specializes in mediocrity in their lives. Let me tell you, gang, it doesn't take a lot for you to separate yourself from the masses of people where mediocrity is acceptable. Does not take a lot. Okay. It just takes a little bit of desire and a lot of motivation and a lot of activity to get to where successful people are. Okay. It doesn't take a lot. Okay. It takes a lot of work, but it doesn't take a lot in terms of separating yourself. Okay. Let's move on. Another success principle is collapsing time frames, right? Going from, there's a great book called The 7-Day Year. Basically the fundamentals of compressing time frames is what you do in a day you could do you split your day into 3 segments, like 6 to noon, noon to 6, and 6 to midnight. Okay. And then you're treating every segment as a day. So you're trying to think about putting 3 days of what you normally do into one day, collapsing time frames. Now, for some activities, that's impossible to do. But here's the point. If you measure all the slack in your calendar and what you do every day, you're going to find that there is so much wasted time. Okay. It says here, use short 2 to 4 business day blitzes with part-timers. Okay. What does that mean? It goes into the book of the magic of compound recruiting. So what you're trying to do with part-time people is get them to believe that on a part-time basis, they can get more done than someone who thinks they're working a full week. Great example is, Mary, my recruiter. Okay. I didn't give her any expectation on what a part-time schedule looks like versus a full-time schedule. Because what happens is you settle for a part-time versus full-time schedule, then it's okay for you to put a part-time mentality in your head. And so what we did with her is, Mary, you can dial on Thursdays, you can book Friday and Saturday, and she's working this part-time. She works full-time for me as a recruiter and onboarder, and then she works part-time making sales. And so I set out for her, what is your schedule? So we figured out she's going to dial on Thursday, and she only dials part-time on Thursday. She has 2 hours in the morning from 8:30 to 10:30, and then 3 hours after she knocks off working for me from 4:30 to 7:30. She's got 5 hours. Okay. So Mary, you can book 20 appointments in 5 hours. Okay. So I didn't tell her it was part-time or full-time. I just told her that's what you do. She started out the gate booking 20 appointments a week, and she's like been relentless at doing 20 appointments a week. She's averaging a couple thousand a week in income part-time. Okay. So the idea, so what she does more in her part-time than a lot of agents do in their full-time. They tell me they're full-time. It's like, okay, there's no other thing you're doing to make money? No. All right. So how many dollars you make? Well, I made $100. Oh, okay. So you work 3 hours. What do you mean? You should be at 30 to $40 an hour. So, when you track your dials, you can't tell me you're full-time or part-time. I will tell you if you're full-time or part-time. You know what I'm saying? So this whole idea of getting part-timers into this 2 to 4 day blitz is really to get them to do way more than they thought they could on a part-time basis with us, like Mary. Like literally, you can make six figures on a part-time basis with us. All right. You just have to believe you can do it and then follow the game plan on how to do it. Okay. We talked about the madman cycles, maybe a couple of sessions ago, the 90-day madman cycle. So everyone thinks about 90 days between conferences, 3 months, right? But running concurrent 90-day madman cycles means that you're constantly putting the effort in. You're not backing off after 90 days, right? Every month is a new 90-day cycle, right? So you're basically what you're doing, you're starting a new 90-day cycle every month, which is really continuing to do a 90-day madman cycle, but you're doing it for the rest of your life, basically. Okay. So that's sort of the way to trick you into completing every cycle every month. I don't know if that makes any sense, but the idea is what can you do with the time that God gave you? And again, I go back to my video on time management. You definitely can figure it out on that by stuff I teach in there. It's kind of like doing a budget. When you do a budget, you have to track what you're spending your money on. So the first phase of doing a budget, you spend the first month or week, whatever it is, usually it's a month, and tracking all your expenditures. What are you spending at Starbucks every day? What are you spending eating at McDonald's or eating fast food? What are you spending on gas? What are you spending on groceries? Everything you spend, you're tracking. And what it will tell you is how inefficient you've been in tracking and utilizing your money, right? How much did you save this month? Okay, serious questions. But till you know where you're spending your money, you'll never know how to budget properly. Okay. So that's like the same thing with your time. What are you spending your time on every day, day in, day out? What are you spending your time on? And then you go from there, what you're spending your time on to, okay, what do I need to do to get the job done? What are my priorities? Again, on my time management, I actually have a website for it. I should actually I could probably pull it up for you so you can kind of know where to go. In fact, let me do that. Let me take a minute if I can. It's
Yes.
training.abnfinancial.com/time management. I'll make you a promise because I believe it. You implement this concept in your life will be so darn productive. It'll blow you away because what it will tell you is how much time you're wasting and how you can direct that time. And I'm talking not just business, I'm talking directing your time towards family, directing your time towards your spiritual life. You perform the exercise that I teach you to determine what are priorities in your life, and then you adjust your schedule accordingly. And then you can download a spreadsheet template to actually map out your day. And it's, if your health is important and you like to work out, this teaches you how you can put that in a place in your life that works for you. Okay. It's called guilt-free living. Okay. So when you implement the system, you will not feel guilty because you know how sometimes it's like you're with your family, but you feel like, man, I need to make dials because we're going to be a little bit behind this month on our rent. Right. And then when you're working, you feel guilty because you should be spending time helping your kids with their homework. Right. You can be guilt free because everything that you're doing will be put in the proper perspective, proper priority, and then you schedule your life accordingly. And I mean, scheduling every minute of your life, doing the things that are productive that will get you happiness. I should say fulfillment. Okay. Ultimately, happiness comes from a fulfilled life. So I would encourage you, man, training.abnfinancial.com/time management. Let's move on. I spent a lot of time. Okay, constant personal communication, especially for your teams. Master the art of communication. The only way that you can help motivate someone is to know them, know what their goals are, know what they're trying to accomplish, know what their hot buttons are, right? Great builders set goals for themselves and their people, meaning that once you know what they want, then you set little goals. Hey, let's try to accomplish this over the next couple days and let's get back together. And then longer term goals. Where do you want to be by family reunion event? Okay, let's get you there. How much money do you want to be making every week? Like until you know what your agents want, you're not going to know how to coach them. You're not going to be able to set, you know, check-in goals on are they progressing towards what they want. So this involves a lot of communication with people. And I'm talking, you know, not just phone calls and live conversations, but texting and email, all the communication opportunities, Zoom calls, right? All those communication opportunities, utilize them to your advantage. Make an aggressive vertical move, okay, versus horizontal. Vertical means going up, right? Kicking in the afterburner. This comes out of a sincere deep motivation to accomplish something big, making a big move in your life. Now, if you don't want to make a big move in your life, then don't do these things. Okay. But we're talking aggressive vertical move, kick in the afterburner. So what does that mean? You need fuel to 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 put in your aircraft. Okay. Because this is an aircraft analogy. Afterburners require more fuel, like way more fuel than just taking off from a runway and accelerating to generate lift, and then you're moving up altitude wise. Afterburner means you're dumping into the jet engine fuel that will just explode your acceleration and your thrust. So, what are things that you can do to make aggressive move and kick in the afterburner? Double your activity, double your investment. Typically, most people are scared of doubling their investment because they're scared that they're not going to get their money back. Here's what's interesting. Like, for example, let's say you're doing the bang bang leads at $250 a week. You know, you're already spending $1,000 in leads. It's just taking you 4 weeks to get through it. And if you're, making 2, 3 sales a week, okay, every week, and this, being very conservative, let's say 3 sales a week, you know, that after spending $1,000 of bang bang leads, that's $250 a week times 4 weeks, that you're making 3, 6, 9, 12 sales. So you're already spending $1,000. You're just doing it over 4 weeks. How about this? What if you did 500 a week? What would happen? Oh, I don't know. I'm doubling my investment. Well, now what you're doing is you're investing $1,000 for 2 weeks. So it would, for me, I would think if you just do algebra, right? What you do on the left side, you do on the right side. You do it in 2 weeks, you should get the same number of sales that you did in 4 weeks. So now you're pushing 12 weeks, 12 sales into 2 weeks. That's 6 sales per week. So you start getting more money. Guess what? Can you double again? Alex, you mean going from 500 to 1,000? Yes. So now, if you amp up your work, this is called afterburner, gang. You amp up your work according to the leads. You're not slacking off on the work that it takes. You've compressed 4 weeks into 1 week by investing 1,000 a week in leads. Do you think you can get 12 sales a week? I think you can get more than 12 sales a week. Because you have so much activity, your confidence is going to go up. You don't care who no shows you. You double book a bunch of appointments, right? You're going to get way more. You're going to get more sales. You're not going to get 12. You might get 20 sales in a week. See how that works? It's really insane. Because what you're doing is you're compressing time frames, you're compounding. That's afterburner. Pulling back the stick is so afterburner is the investment. Pulling back the stick is putting the activity commensurate with your investment. Look, if you invest $500 a week in Bang Bang leads and you were doing 250, you'd sure as heck better be doubling your activity level. What you're going to find is when you double your activity level, you're going to get 2.5 times to 3 times the results. It's just how it works. When you compress time frames and you accelerate your investment, you're going to get more out of your money. It's just crazy how it works like that. So pulling back the stick is putting the activity level in commensurate with your investment. Fight in the vertical. You want to be doing this. You don't want to be maintaining. You're constantly growing. You're growing yourself. You're growing your results. You're growing yourself. You're growing your activity. You're growing your results from that activity. What happens when you kick the afterburner in, you pull the stick up, is that what you're going to do is you're going to get results, faster results, quicker results, better results, because you're going to be better. You're going to be more efficient. And you're going to be flying like this constantly. All right. What's finesse and maneuverability? It's just what I said. You're going to get better at what you do. You're going to have a better placement and persistency ratio. You're going to get referrals. So then you're going to get more sales out of your investment because you're doing all the right things and you're going to have so many opportunities to do referral sales, estate plan sales. It's just going to multiply. All of a sudden, the $1,000 a week, to write, 10 grand, 12 grand, 15 grand a week, you'll be able to do on 5,000 or 500 a week. See, because you've already kicked yourself into this mode of massive activity and more efficiency, more finesse and maneuverability, right? That you can back off on the investment and get the same results or more on less investment. Okay. Do you see how that works? It's this crazy thing that works. And then because you're going to have this tremendous confidence, you're going to move bolder and quicker. Bolder and quicker. You can be more confident. You know what you can accomplish. You know that you can accomplish quicker, sooner than later, right? You're going to realize how valuable your time is. You're going to go from making $100 an hour to making $1,000 an hour, baby. And when you start doing that, you're going to respect your time better, more, right? And you're going to have more time to do the other things with your family, taking on vacations. I'm just tell you what, man, going like this instead of going like this, because when you go like this, it's going to go down. It's going to go down, right? So make an aggressive vertical move. Like I said earlier, you're either growing or you're dying, baby. And I'm talking growing. Now, there's levels of growing. There's growing ballistically, like crazy, like I just said, you got the afterburners on, or there's growing at a steady pace. But I never look at steady being good. It's like I want to multiply what I'm achieving, right? My results. I want to multiply my results. Dying is the thing you can't get in your head is maintaining your business. If you go into maintenance mode, it's not really maintenance mode. Maintenance mode is what you think is maintenance mode. I promise you is going backwards mode. Okay, crashing and burning. Until you have a growth mindset, you'll always grow. You will always grow when you have a growth mindset. But if you have this maintenance mode, I'm happy with, where my sales are in business. Actually, what will happen is it can go backwards. You're the growing and you're dying. Aggressiveness is essential to be a great leader. Now, you can be a good leader. You can be an average leader. You can be a mediocre leader. You're going to be judged by how many people you're bringing behind you that are getting your results. And aggressiveness is how many people are duplicating what you're doing and they're achieving the same results, right? Without aggressiveness, all your capabilities are useless, right? Because it doesn't matter if you can hire 20 people a month. What matters, that matters. But what matters even more is how many people are you teaching to recruit 20 people a month, to contract 20 people a month? How many people are you teaching to do half of that? Are you even teaching anybody how to do that? See, you're no use to the alliance. You're no use to Andy Albright until you can reproduce yourself. Otherwise you're just another producer. Your value is, can you produce other producers? Can you produce other recruiters as you build your agency? That's where you become doubly, triply, 10x more valuable to the alliance. Okay. Now, when I mean value, I don't mean like value as a person. Everyone has value because you're a child of God. I'm talking financial value, business value, right? It's how you kind of measure who you're pouring yourself into. Are you reproducing another you in the people you're pouring into, or are they, throwing? It's like throwing pearls to swine. Are they not doing anything with the things you're teaching? Well, then you're teaching the wrong people. Okay. Two priorities: ignite our leaders to motivate their people. This light a fire under their leaders, because it's one thing to have a group of 30 agents and getting them to produce more and trying to get the ones that want to build agencies to build agencies, right? You're only going to have a span of control that can only handle so many people that you can personally work with. Where your multiplication and compounding happen as we can unite your leaders that are bringing people to the party to do what you're doing, right? So let's say you can only really effectively manage 30 agents direct. Imagine if you had another that's handling 30 agents that you don't have to, but you've poured into that leader to do everything that you're doing. And so he'll produce after you. He'll produce more of his kind, and then finding the person that will do 30 people too. So it just compounds even more. That's why you need to work with the leaders that deserve your time. Okay. The people that are doing what you're teaching them to do, and then working with them to help them motivate their people, igniting your agency and the network of agencies. Two marketing focal points. Okay, marketing is different than sales. Marketing produces sales. Marketing gives you the ability to make sales, right? Marketing is getting the word out, is creating a movement of people that want to join you, right? So marketing focal points, growth, which means a lot of new recruits and new leaders being developed, and volume production, getting existing agents to dramatically increase their production. Now look, you got 10 agents, let's say they're all doing 5,000 each. But man, if there's some way that you convince them to do 10% more, imagine getting 10 agents to do 10% more. They're doing 5,000 a month. That's $50. What 10% of 5,000 is 500. So you do 500 more, like one extra sale a month. You're not just getting one extra sale from one agent. You're getting a total of 10 sales from all 10 agents, and they're already doing what they're doing. So imagine the next month they're doing 5,500. Can you get 10 more percent out of them? See, there's this value in impacting many people on a small basis. A lot of people that are making incremental improvements on a daily basis compounds. And that compounding of the compounding will blow your agency up. Your volume production will go through the roof if you can work on these two things: growth with new recruits and new leaders that you're developing within the people you're bringing on, and then volume, baby, getting your agents, motivating them. And what is motivation? it's getting, because everyone's self-motivated. They're not going to really be long-term motivated by you. Again, the art of motivation is finding out what they want and then helping them get what they want by laying out a process by which they can get what they want. And if they hit a stall or they're hit a plateau, then you need to communicate with them. Are they satisfied with their life? Are there other things that will motivate them to do better for their families? Okay, that's the other art of motivation. That's a whole topic in and of itself. Number 10, promotions start drive production. So part of the goal setting is not only the material things they want to accomplish, spiritual things, family thing, whatever, is meaningful to that agent, right? That producer. It's all getting there. The milestones along the way are promotions. If you've got a business promoter, how can we get them to team leader or key leader? I mean, and you got a key leader. How do we get them to regional manager? You got a regional manager. How can we get them to executive vice president? You got an EVP. How do we get them to junior board member? See, all the things that they want to accomplish in their lives can be measured by the milestones to get there. And that's why we make a big deal about promotions. But it's not about the promotion as much as it is the recognition of their promotion at the next event. That's why you want all their people to be at the next event to recognize your leader when they get promoted, when they go across stage with a new agency manager ring. You want their people there. And chances are, if they got an agency manager ring, probably they have people there. But you want to max out, get as many people there on your team to celebrate the promotions. Once you edify the promotions as being a big deal and being a place that everyone needs to be and something they should achieve because their goals will fall out from achieving those promotions, man, you got a culture, you got a system, and that's what the alliance system is. We want to recognize people. We give everyone opportunity to grow and be recognized, and we recognize them at the events. And these events will make people, I tell you what, people will be motivated by their goals, but they'll really be motivated by the recognition. Okay. It's just how people work. It's a crazy thing that you tell people, look at your bank account, and that should motivate you. But I promise you, man, walk across that stage being recognized as a new agency manager or standing up because you're being recognized as a new key leader. I promise you, gang, that will motivate people more than anything. But should they be motivated? Because they got to see other people being promoted and how big a deal it is, right? When we make it a big deal, it'll be a big deal for them when they achieve that goal, especially when their spouse is there with them, standing by their side, being praised for the work that they did to get where they're going. I promise you, man. Build big production teams that produce big income. It should be obvious, but sometimes it isn't. And how you build big teams is focusing on people earning income. At the end of the day, it's what they put in their bank account. So at the end of the year, when we get around to, people producing to earn the trips or whatever, how many people do you have that are earning 50 grand a year? That's like 1,000 a week. How many people do you have on your team earning 50,000 a year? How many 100,000 earners do you have? How many 250,000 earners? How many 500,000 earners? How many $1 million earners? I have had $1 million earners in my business, and I get fired up because those $1 million earners are the ones that help produce the 500,000 earners, and the 500,000 earners are the ones that produce 250,000 earners. Like, your team grow by helping your leaders grow, and your leaders will grow their teams, right? And all their teams are your team. Success cycle. So this is what I was talking about before, sort of the link. Attitude drives prospecting, right? Prospecting is looking for people to share the business with, right? Looking to people that want to join us. You're not convincing them. You're not selling them too hard. You're just finding the right people that see the alliance opportunity as a way for them to achieve their goals and dreams. That's really what we're looking for. If the alliance opportunity is not a fit, it's not a fit. I don't want to bring anyone on that's not a fit for us. We have to have a mutual fit. What they want to accomplish and who they are and character as a person fits with what we want to accomplish. and what we want to do, right? And us helping them get to what they want. So attitude drives prospecting, prospecting drives recruiting, recruiting drives promotions, promotions drive production, production drives earnings, and earnings drive leadership. There are very fine lines that one will produce for will produce another. So the attitude of prospecting is a shoe salesman that I'm sitting down with, are they sharp? Are they young? Are they good at what they do? Are they attentive to me? If they meet those criteria, just simply say, hey, listen, my manager is looking to hire sharp people like you. I don't know if you ever considered increasing your position financially, part-time or full-time, but we're interviewing people right now. He's interviewing people right now. I don't know if you're open. Are you open right now at, you know, looking at alternative career paths for you? You are? Okay. How can I get a hold of you to set up an interview? Don't ask them for the phone number. Don't ask for their email address. Just say, how can we set up an interview with you? Oh, well, here's my cell phone. Give me a call. Okay, cool. You let them offer their method of communication. You don't want to sound too multi-level-ish, right? So as you're prospecting, obviously it's going to turn into recruiting, bring people on board the team, right? And when you bring people on board and get them selling insurance, right? Because recruiting doesn't automatically produce production or promotions, right? But you recruit people and then set their goal for the next promotion, and then the promotion, like setting their goal for the next level, so they can move up another 5% in production or in commission rate. You get them on the path to producing to get there, right? So they get promotions. Their next promotion will drive their production to get there, right? And their production, both building teams, earning overrides, and personal production will drive obviously what they earn. It's going to equate to what goes in their bank account every 3 times a week. And then the earnings and the growth will produce credibility that they know what they're doing. They've been mentored by you that they know what they're doing, both leadership wise, building agency wise, and producing wise. Then this is where you can cultivate leaders. You can produce or you can cultivate production leaders that can teach production to your people, right? To everyone in your team, because that's a leadership level there. Producers can be leaders if they can teach what they're doing. They're competent enough, they're consciously competent enough to be able to teach exactly what they're doing to make sales. It's hard when someone doesn't know how they're making sales, they're just good at it, but they can't teach what they're doing. It's like, all right, man, they're only good for production and we want to keep them producing, but you're looking elsewhere for the leadership, the producing leaders that can teach what they're doing to other people, right? Again, leadership is producing more people after yourself that are doing what you're doing, which is doing what the leader is doing, right? The fastest way to become a millionaire, find a millionaire to do exactly what he or she is doing. So I found Andy Albright. So I'm doing exactly what he's teaching me to do. Okay. Simple, right? The greatest motivation comes from self-confidence, which comes from earning your own respect. Self-confidence is respecting what you're doing and that it's producing results. And you have to work and earn that self-confidence. But you're motivated because you're self-confidence in what you do. Your self-esteem, your self-image is that you deserve way more than what you're earning right now, right? It's like, man, I've made 50,000 a year, but I know I can make 100,000 a year. I see myself making 100,000 a year. Where do they get that self-image from, that self-esteem from? Is hanging around people that make 100,000 a year or more, and them believing that they can do what that person did. Right. So that self-image comes from book reading and hanging around the people that are making way more money. The only way you hang around those people are through events, through live boot camps, through the things that we're doing live training. That's why that personal contact is so important, because people will believe as others believe, and they'll measure themselves against other people in a positive way. And that's where the self-image comes from. The greatest motivation comes from a plan that works. When people know that a plan's working for other people, like 20 appointments a week, then they're going to have belief that it works for themselves. So they're going to be motivated because they see everyone around them that are booking 20 appointments a week are making six figures. They see everyone that's reading the book, 8 Steps to Success, that plan, where they read that book once a month, getting started, and they see people make six figures because that's what you do when you read that book. If you read once a month, you're going to make six figures at the end of the year. Okay. You're motivated when you know how to do what everyone's teaching you. And you know how to do it because you're doing it and you're getting the results from it. So you've got this confidence level and self-image that you can help other people do what you're doing because you know how to do it and why it works. Your motivation comes from the system of accountability. You're accountable to your family and what you want to produce and help for and create for them, your children, your wife. A system of accountability to your upline. When you promise your upline, man, I'm going key leader this month. All right. Are we doing it? How can we do it? How can we do it better? The system of accountability, right? Repetition. Repetition is the mother of education. Relentless inevitability. I love that because when you do it over and over and over again, you get consistent results. And so you know what you're going to accomplish. Your results are inevitable because you've booked 20 appointments a week. You're talking to 20 new recruits a week. You do that week after week after week. There's nothing can stop you because it is relentless. The results will happen, and the results will happen on a very consistent basis. And consistency comes from a long-term desire to do something, and consistency, you will consistently put the activity in. So that's the idea that you book 20 appointments a week, you talk to 20 recruits a week, you're going to get X number of results. Now, let's say you book 20 appointments a week, you should get 5,000 a week in production. If you don't this week, because you've done it for the long haul, that you'll do better next week. It's going to all average out because what's working. Okay. So repetition, it's relentless inevitability. Okay, let's get through this, man. I am going to get through all these slides. Discipline gives you new habits to match the system. Okay. The only way you can create positive success habits is by exercising discipline. What's discipline? Doing something because you need to have to do it, not because you feel like doing it. Discipline is doing that which you don't feel like doing, but you got to do it anyway, right? And when you do something anyway, regardless of how you feel, it turns into a habit. And habits you do without even thinking or feeling, right? Taking a shower, that's a habit. You don't feel anything about it. You just have to do it. Are you happy taking a shower? You might be. Are you sad taking a shower? Who cares? Like, you just do it because you're supposed to do it for hygiene purposes. Okay. And once you create those habits that go beyond your feelings, oh my gosh, you've created a process of being successful no matter what. It's all over but the shouting, man. It's just a matter of time. That's why I always have wanted to get to my processes and systems and my mindset, attitude, and my goals that I want to achieve. I create a process to achieve that. I'm going along for the ride, baby. Whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, I know that I'm going along for the ride because it's going to work. Because it has worked, it will work, it's worked for other people. And, Lord in heaven, He's put me in this right place, right time, and to do the things I'm doing for Him. It's my mission. Guess who motivates the motivator? You motivate you. No one else can motivate you, gang. Let's just, don't look for motivation outside yourself. You look for mentorship outside yourself. You look for self-improvement outside yourself. You look for association to grow your self-image outside yourself. But the bottom line is when you wake up every day, when your feet hit the floor, do you know what you're going to do? Do you know why you're going to do what you're going to do? Do you know how you're going to get to what you want to accomplish? by doing what you're going to do. You're the one that does it, not me, not Andy Albright. At the end of the day, it's the man or woman in the mirror. Stop, please stop recruiting people to a business. Okay. You recruit them to an environment. Yet you're not recruiting them to the life insurance business, man. You're recruiting them to a mechanism, an environment by which they could achieve their goals and dreams. Right. Let the culture, the atmosphere of what the alliance brings to them show them that is the conduit by which they achieve their goals. So don't recruit them to the insurance business, recruit them to the culture, to the opportunity for them to grow and build their income, build long-term income, build renewal income, ongoing residual income, right, to achieve what it is they want to achieve financially for their families. Okay, paradigm. A paradigm is the way of thinking, right? Now, do you have the proper paradigm to be successful, or do you have a negative paradigm that always keep you down? If you want to make minor changes to your team's performance, work on their attitude and behavior. See, it only do so much, right? Their attitude and behavior. If you want to make major changes in your team's performance, work on their paradigms. That's what this whole 5-part series is to develop your paradigm, the way you think. And I started this session out by how you think, your paradigm. You change your paradigm, you're going to make a huge difference in your life, right? So it's not just working on attitude and behavior. Attitude and behavior will be the fruit of changing your paradigm, changing how you think. So you got to start there, man. You start working on that, your attitude and behavior will fall in line. Repetition is the mother of skill. Okay, I said that before, man. Repetition is the parent of education. Education implemented by action will help you develop skill. All right, man. Hang in there with me. Okay. I know I got a 2:00 appointment. I know they're probably on this call right now. I promise we'll get this done. Our aggressiveness is domination driven. Okay. What do we mean by domination? It is dominating your flesh. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. It's in the Bible. It's like when Jesus says, "Can you come, pray with me?" And he goes and prays, and then he comes back, his disciples are sleeping. He's kind of, could you not, you know, keep watching me for an hour? Man, they just went out like a light. The flesh is willing, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Aggressiveness is domination driven, dominating your flesh, dominating all the people that say you can't do it, dominating your mindset and attitude. Consume your mindset and attitude with dominating your former mediocre self to creating your excellent self. Now, look, you could be domination, meaning you're going to take over the world. Okay, that's an awesome domination mindset. But man, if I can get you to dominate your flesh, life's going to be good. Freedom, bold, freedom to be bold, freedom to grow. Here's the thing about freedom, right? Freedom is having the choices, right? Having the freedom of choice and the freedom to make decisions you want and need to make without regard to money, right? Without regard to any limitations. Freedom to be bold, freedom to grow. And this is all aspects of your life, man. Freedom, baby. It's all about freedom. You have no idea the choices that will present to you when you're making $1 million a year. And you have no concept. I taught this the other day when I was in Kentucky doing a team meeting with one of our teams, growing teams, is that you have no idea. I didn't know what kind of choices. When I made $1 million a year, I had no idea the choices I had. And the choices would that automatically, because you only make so much money and you have only so much time, that you just automatically believe you can't make those choices. Well, you can't. But you'll be presented with opportunities that these choices will be presented to you, like attending a friend's chemotherapy treatment that you care about. You have the time and money to go visit with them and spend time while they're getting an infusion. But because you weren't making the money before, you didn't have the time to do it. You're on the phone saying, "Hey, man, I'm praying for you." That's all you can say. But isn't it more important to be with someone? I'm talking all kinds of choices that you will have for your children is what we're talking about. That kind of freedom, baby. We are at the brink of national dominance. It's so funny when you think about that. Changing the world, dominating mediocrity, dominating brokenness, dominating poverty, right? We have created an unstoppable system. You just have to implement it. High numbers mentality. We need to believe that 20 appointments a week are minimum wage. Talking to 20 new prospects to recruit is minimum wage. Right now, minimum wage is if you can like squeak out one app a week. It's like, man, we need to get to high number mentality, 20 apps a week, or what does Megan Wood do? 100, she does 100 apps a week, right? That's high numbers mentality. We all have to develop the attitude that, the high numbers are minimum wage. Then we'll definitely dominate poverty. To achieve greatness, you got to think strategically. You got to commit specifically, and you got to focus constantly, right? Think strategically. This is the goal setting. This is thinking of what you want your life to be in the future. So, because everything you do today will inform what you do to get there. You have to think strategically. 3 months from now, the next event, what do you want your business to look like by the next event? What do you want your business to look like 5 years from now? What do you want your life to look like 10 years from now for you and your children, right? Think strategically, commit specifically. You can only commit to things that you can measure. Okay. A commitment is like commitment to love my wife and commit to my wife comes down to specific things I'm doing every day. You can say all day long, I love my wife. But if some honey, good looking woman walks down the street and you're checking her out, that's a specific thing that doesn't tell the world, doesn't say you that you love your wife. I love my wife. I am not going to let some good looking woman steer my gaze. If I see someone who potentially could steer my gaze, I will look the other way. I will not indulge myself with lustful thoughts by looking at another woman because I'm not committing specifically that I love my wife. I empty the dishwasher because she's not feeling good. I do it because I love my wife, because it's a specific thing I can do. Your actions prove your love. Saying your love does not do anything. Professing it, it's what do you do? Love is a verb, right? Committing to your business is a verb. You can say, I'm committed, Alex, to go EVP by the end of the quarter. All right. That's all well and good. So tell me, what are you committing to specifically? Are you committing to talking to 20 new prospects a week? Are you committed to contracting 20 new agents a week? Those are specific things. See, what you do will speak so loud that what you say, I can't hear. Okay, let me say it again. What you do will speak so loud that what you say, I can't hear. So show me, don't smell me. Okay. And then focus constantly. This goes back to the systems. Number one, the systems you put in place to focus constantly on a daily, hourly basis on your KPIs, your key performance indicators. What do you focus on every day to determine if you had a good day or a bad day? Right? Did you get closer to your goal or do you move away from it? The only way you can measure that is your focus every day on all the things you're doing, all your activity to get closer to what you want to accomplish. Oh man. Uh, okay. Recruit to build versus recruiting to sell. Look, you can recruit people to be salespeople in your organization. You're only going to get so many results because you're going to recruit to replace the people that quit, right? But when you recruit to build, you recruit people that want to build a life, want to build a business, then you're on a whole different level of recruiting. Recruiting to sell is more replacement mentality. Recruiting to build is a multiplication mentality. That's a whole hour-long seminar right there. The Habit of Persistence from Think and Grow Rich. So this is one of the foundational books that you need to read, right? So let's talk about these 4 steps. I think this is the last slide. Hang in with me, gang. Number 1, a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. You have to have a definite major purpose that you want to accomplish with a burning desire. It's got to be that passion that ignites you every day, right? To do what you need to do. You have to have a definite plan, right? Expressing continuous action. It's one thing to have a plan, but unless you back it up with the action to implement the plan, implement the game plan, then it's not a plan that's worth following. Because if you're not going to do it, then you're not going to get to what you want to accomplish. Number 3, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, including negative suggestions of relatives, friends, and acquaintances. I taught this Wednesday in Kentucky. You have got to get away from the people that bring you down. They might be people that you love and care about, but if they keep coming at you with, you still doing that insurance thing? Are you making any money? Why are you going to that thing, that conference again, if you're not making any money? Man, you get away from those people. You have an eye gate and an ear gate. And the only way that you can manage your attitude and mindset properly is if you close your mind, your eye gate and ear gate to negative things. Don't watch the news. The news is full of negative. If it's important, you're going to hear it from other people. Don't fall into the trap of bombarding yourself with negative suggestions, negative people, negative influences, because your positive tank is only so full every time you wake up. You got these negative things pulling your positive energy away. It's going to spell disaster. So you need to preserve it as much as you can. You need to get around positive people to pour positive into you to keep that positive tank full so you can withstand negative people on the phone, yelling at you because they want you to stop calling them, or the recruit that leaves you a chargeback, right? Or the recruit that starts saying nasty things about you all over the internet. Man, you're going to have plenty of negative to deal with when you're building a business. Why dump on more negative by letting yourself be influenced by negative people, negative things, negative news, right? You got to close your mind tightly against all those negative influences. And number 4, a friendly alliance with one or more persons will encourage you to follow through with both plan and purpose. This is association. This is why you got to get around the positive people to help you complete your mission, to help you implement your game plan. That's why I come into family reunion. That's why I come into national conference. That's why I come into breakthrough. That's why coming to View from the Edge, the 4 major conferences a year. You have to come. It's not mandatory, but if you want to be successful in life, it is mandatory, in my humble but accurate opinion. Mastermind Alliance. This is a book that Napoleon Hill wrote, the next book on masterminding. Look, people that are masterminding together, people that are accomplishing the same goals as you, people that are on the same road as you lock arms, you're much stronger. It's like a rope of many cords. Nothing's going to break that rope because you're all bound together with a common goal, a common, commonality in mindset and attitude and achieving what you want to accomplish. People that have the heat of battle on them. I only want those people around me, right? So create a mastermind alliance. And you find these people by going to the events and finding people that fire you up and you can fire them up. It's this networking idea that we talk about when you go to events. Number 27, the universality of Coca-Cola outlets everywhere. Okay. Your business will be determined by how many agents, really by how many outlets, how many agency managers you've out there building their business. That's all it is. It's all this business is. How many leaders are you producing after yourself? You're only a leader if you have people following you. Do you have other leaders of people following them, right? Oh my gosh. I probably should have split this up. Characteristics of peak performers. A great leader has a great mission that motivates all that the team knows that all the team knows this and they know their role. I'm putting that out there. Great leader has a great mission that motivates all. Okay. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. Focus. This goes back to focus, focusing on the things that will get you closer to your goal. Get rid of distractions. How to develop a recruiting mentality. Approach every prospect about the opportunity first. Okay. I mean, yeah, they can make money selling, but the program to build a business, man, this is what this is all about. B, sell the dream and the crusade simultaneously. Right? Our crusade is a fight against poverty. We're helping every one of our teammates fight the battle against poverty. Long-term freedom and success. That's what we're selling. Freedom to do the things you want to do for your family, right? Things you want to do financially for yourself, the life that you want to lead, you want to live, and the person you want to become. Be like a quarterback. Every play is planned to be a touchdown bomb. Recruit the prospect. Okay, just let's recruit them. Let's bring them on the team and see what they do. If defense is stacked against this, call an audible to check off. In other words, if the enemy throws stuff in your way, know what you're going to do to pivot around whatever obstacle. This is the concept of making a decision before the negative thing happens, right? Hand off to the running back, or at least to gain 3 to 4 yards. You got to make the sale, man. You have to make the sale. Either sell the product, sell the client that has the need, make that sale, or sell the recruit on joining us. Again, it's the right person. The right person to sell to, you're going to make a sale. The right person to recruit, you're going to recruit. You just have to get around enough people to find the right people. People have always been intrigued by multiple geometric progression. Okay, that's what our marketing plan does. Pictures worth 1,000 words. Pictures really tell the story. Law of large numbers makes the laws of average profitable. This is so true. The more personal direct legs you have to you, the more opportunity you have to grow the right ones that want to grow. The more people selling, old and new people, the more you're going to grow. So it's, law of large numbers. Success, lots of people doing a little bit and a few people doing a lot. Speed width, go wide fast. That's back in, I think, section 2 about the Madman Blitz. Recruiting waves, get 10 to 20 wide every 30 days. We talked about that before. Magic of dud power. Leader with the most duds wins. And they'll have the most successful agents, because you're not measuring your agency by how many duds you have, people that are just mediocre. You have a large agency, you will have 70% that are going to do 5,000 and below, and you're going to have 30% to do 5,000 and above. I'm not going to say they're duds. Everyone's important. Okay. So this is kind of sort of a negative way of saying that. But the successful agencies have a large number of people doing every bit of whatever they're going to do. So the person that has more 5,000 and below producers are going to have more 5,000 above producers. That's what that means. Okay. So you just want to grow a large agency. Build a large network of outlet, large bases of multiple product clients. Standards. We as a group will monitor, advise, and counsel, but I as your coach will enforce them. Okay, enforce the standards. I need to be more expecting of excellence from you, right? Because if I expect it from you, you should expect it from yourself, and it should really help you to understand what you're doing to accomplish what it is you need to accomplish. And that is it, gang. Man, thank you for helping me get through that. I didn't realize it was going to be as I forgot how many slides. I thought I was going to run through these slides quick, but there are points in there could be a whole hour-long seminar. But I want to run that mindset attitude by y'all because it's so important. It's, again, the foundation that the other four parts of this whole magic of compound recruiting is built on are these things with mindset, attitude. So anyway, gang, I hope this helped, and I hope this really made you think. And what I need to do, because I see Steve Komarek on here, I need to get you all 5 of these in one shot so you can review it all. And anyway, so I know that I'm supposed to meet with Twyla McDonald. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this call. And if Twyla, if you can jump back on, that'd be great. And then we can do our meeting. So anyway, gang, God bless you all. Thank you for plugging in on this, and I'll get this out to y'all as soon as possible. And Twyla, I'm gonna end this call and then I'll jump back on. So God bless everybody. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay.
Hey, Steve.